over your generosity and your taking ownership by supporting the ministries that are here on KKVV. We want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless. KKVV, Las Vegas.
Are you training for a marathon or something?
I heard if you lose lots of weight, you can prevent diabetes.
Get real. You don't have to knock yourself out to prevent diabetes. Take small steps. Talk to your healthcare provider. Losing a small amount of weight by being active 30 minutes, 5 days a week, and eating healthier can prevent diabetes. For more information, call 1-800-438-5383 and ask for Get Real.
Sponsored by the Nevada State Health Division with a grant from the CDC in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association.
The views and opinions of the guests on the Wyleaner Show are those of the guests and are not necessarily the views and opinions of the hostess Wyleaner and or her co-host.
Spiritualism? Is it really? Judaism? What's really going on? Well, I tell you what, I got the people that's going to answer those questions just for us right here on the Wyleaner Show. Y'all know what's happening. It is time. Yes, indeed, it's time once again for the Wyleaner Show. And I am Wyleaner, the Las Vegas Queen of Gospel. And I'm excited to be back with you once again today. I'm excited for all of you who are watching out there on WyleanerTVShow.com and everybody who's watching on KKVV.com, everybody who's watching on Google Hangout, who's watching on YouTube, who's watching it backstage, who's watching all over the whole wide world. I'm excited to be back with you again today. And I'm excited for those who are listening out there on KKVV 1060 AM Las Vegas on your radio dial. I tell you what, I've got some information for y'all today. You better know it. This is part two of Spiritualism versus Judaism, and these two people say they are really not that. And so you know me, I get a kick out of trying to find out exactly who they are and what they believe and what they teach to be the quote-unquote truth, okay? And I'm excited about it. So listen, I tell you what, you know, we've got so much going on. We're going to take a break because I got to pay the bills. Y'all got to help me pay the bills around here. But anyway, I got a sponsor that's helping pay the bills, and we got to go see what the sponsor has to say. So you know what's going to happen when we come back? The rubber is going to meet the road. We'll see you in a minute.
Did you realize that right now, one of every 3 drivers on the road is cruising around in a state of skepticism? Why? Because they're full of questions about how much value their car insurance company is actually bringing to the party. And the way these drivers are getting answers is by shopping and comparing. If you're one of them, State Farm agent Mike Whitford in Las Vegas can help you get to a better state. Now's the time to call State Farm agent Mike Whitford in Las Vegas at 702-463-2400. That's 702-463-2400 and get to a better state with State Farm.
Okay, everybody, listen. I just want to also say welcome to the people that are listening out there on Spreaker. Okay, and sometimes I forget about Spreaker, but the Wyleaner Show is on Spreaker too. Okay, and tune in. Oh, man, I tell you, the Wyleaner Show is just all over the place, y'all. What can I tell you? We're all over the entire world. Global it is. That's what they call it. Okay, and so listen, I also want to say thank you to anyone who has made a donation to help the Wyleaner Show stay on the air. You are greatly appreciated. You are the bomb. Yes, indeed, you are the bomb. And if you have not made a donation to the show and you would like to make a donation to the Wyleaner Show, please don't hesitate to do so. You can click on, if you log on to WyleanerTVShow.com, you can click on that pay button right up there at the top of the screen and make your donation any amount you would like to make. It's great. It's fine. I love it. Okay. And then if you want to send check or money order in the mail, that's great too. You can send that check or money order to Wyleaner, WYLEANER, at 420 North Nellis Boulevard, Suite A3, Las Vegas, Nevada 89110. Okay, and make sure you just do that in case you know, we need the help. Okay, and so listen, today it is part 2 of Spiritualism versus Judaism, and I have a guest that is joining me, 2 guests that are joining me, and one's joining from all the way from Australia, okay, all the way on the other side of this world, wherever this world is. Okay, and then also I have a guest that is joining me from Arizona. Okay, calling in from Arizona, and so it looks like oh boy, I tell you, we're having technical difficulties once again right here on the Wyleaner Show. Okay, so I have my guests, and they're both calling in on the line, and so my producer is going to get them on the line for me here, and it looks like we had them both, and we lost them.
Just cut off in the middle. I don't know what happened.
On the line in just a second here, and we just need to get them lined up quickly. Okay. All right. So my first guest is Gabriella. Gabriella KOVAC. Are you with me?
Yes, I am. Yes, I'm here. Hello there.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful, Gabriella. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Sydney is beautiful. The sun is clear. It's still a bit cold, but it's gorgeous.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful, because I think you told me once upon a time that it was winter time, right?
Yes, we had snow on my car, or ice, if you want to call it. Unbelievable.
Okay, okay. Well, I tell you what, I'm excited that you're with us, and for those of you who are watching out there on WyleanerTVShow.com, you can actually see Miss Gabriella KOVAC, who is calling in all the way from Australia. Okay, and so then of course I have my second guest, and this gentleman, he just was off the chain again. Last week he was off the chain, and his name is James Wesley. James, how are you?
I'm doing great, Wyleaner.
Okay, wonderful. Are you ready for the rubber to meet the road again today?
I'm excited.
Okay, and James, how was your week?
My week was great, thank you.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so listen, everybody, I just want to say thank you to both of you for tuning in and joining with us today to be on the Wyleaner Show and allow me to rake you over the coals. Okay, so listen, callers, this is part 2. And so, of course, we do open up the phone lines. Well, we open up the phone lines on part 1 as well, but part 2, this is more of your opportunity to ask questions once we get the dialogue going, okay? And we're getting ready to start that dialogue in just a second here. But just for those of you who want to call in, the number is 702. 650-5588 for local callers, 702-650-5588 for local callers. And anyone calling from anywhere else in the country, in the wide world, wherever, 1-800-366-8883. That's 1-800-366-8883. And remember to be respectable to my guests, okay? Remember, I always tell you, be respectable to my guests, because if you don't, I have an invisible man over there, and we do what we call introduce you to what I call a brand new click, and that is hang up the phone on you, okay? And so make sure that, you know, we do have the right to agree to disagree right here on the Wyleaner Show. You can say, hey, no, I don't believe it. Prove it. Where did you get that information from? I don't think that's accurate. You know, that's okay. It's all fine, but just make sure that you disagree respectably. Okay? And so we're getting ready to start our dialogue in just a second, but we have got to take another break. So we'll be right back. Okay, everybody, listen. Make sure that you go over there and patronize Mike Whitford over there at State Farm as well. Okay. Listen, I want to go ahead and start my question and answer period here. And I told everybody last week, I said we're going to start with Gabriella this week. And Gabriella, are you with me?
Yes, I am, Wyleaner.
Okay. Okay, so listen, Gabriella, I want to start with you today, okay? And I want to ask you, how did the Holocaust influence your faith? Can you say whether it strengthened or weakened your faith? And I would like it if you would give us an explanation as to why you feel the way that you feel about your quote-unquote Jewish faith, and what are the things that you do differently than the regular Judaism faith, please.
Okay, and thank you for that very interesting question here. Right, so we can begin in the beginning. As I said earlier, that I wasn't born during the Holocaust, I was just born straight after. But I do know that my mother, Georgina, bought the Mogendovich straight after, and that would have been a horrendous thing and a horrendous expense, because she had an 18-karat gold star and she would never take it off. No matter what happened, she just never took it off. My uncle, who was never religious, became an Orthodox Jew, which means he kept all the religions. My family only kept the Shabbat, which is the praying on Friday night. But we did keep it, and we did go regularly to the synagogue on all the high holidays. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, okay, so, well, in a way it does, but then, and then also what I want to know from you, Gabriella, is as well is, what is it that you do that's different? Because it seems to me as though I kind of got from you that you're not traditionally the Jewish person, although you're Jewish, but you're not traditionally Jew. You don't deal with Judaism traditionally the same way. So what I'd like for you to do is explain to me what's different about the way that you honor Judaism, or you don't honor Judaism. What is different about it in your way?
I do honor Judaism. I think it's a wonderful religion. I think that I do definitely believe that there's one God, and there's only one God. And anything like with Jesus, he is not the Messiah, and there may be a Messiah that will still come. That is one of my beliefs. Mostly the basics of the Bible, as I mentioned before, about the 10 Commandments: no steal, do not steal, do not kill, do not covet somebody else's property, that I definitely believe in. Then I was brought up in a very unusual way. I think my mother, not my father, but my mother was a very progressive thinker. And she had these other wild ideas that definitely do not match Judaism. But as I was brought up in it, I think that they were wonderful ideas. One of them was, she said one day, this is right in the middle of communism, when there was no religion, she decided that children need Christmas because Christmas is magical, so she put up a Christmas tree. I know it's not Jewish. I had a Christmas tree. I've always had a Christmas tree because it's beautiful and it's nice for children. So that's definitely a different thought from most Jewish people. Jewish people will have the Hanukkah, and I have a Christmas tree. So there you go. What can I say?
Okay, Gabriella. So you've always had a Christmas tree in your home because of the way you were brought up. So how did that affect your community, or weren't you brought up in a Jewish community?
Yes, but most people didn't like my mother. They just thought that she was sort of an atheist. But these were, as I said, she was a very progressive thinker. And yes, we did light a candle on a Friday night. When my father passed away, we definitely sat for 8 days and kept the religion. When my brother died, we did the same thing. It just, she made her own laws, I suppose, and as I was brought up in those areas, they're the areas that I kept. But I definitely respect Judaism. I think it's a wonderful religion, and unless somebody really keeps it to its originality and its core, it will die away. So that wouldn't be a good thing.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that information with us, Gabriella. Now, I'm going to go off the cuff a little bit here because someone wanted me to ask this question, and I don't know how either one of you are going to answer it, but I'm going to ask it because that's what I do on the Wyleaner show. Okay, someone wanted me to ask you both. And I'm going to start with Gabriella, since I'm with you right now. I'm going to go ahead and give you the question, and then I'm going to move over to James. And James, I'm going to be with you for a little bit as well. Okay, so the question that a person wanted me to ask, one of the viewers or listeners wanted me to ask is the book of Revelation something that has already happened, or is it supposed to happen? So I'm going to start with you, Gabriella. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm not too sure. I don't think I've gone that far into the Bible to know what the book of Revelations would be. If you mention more, like if you tell me that that's the name, if I know what it's about, I can probably give you more of an answer.
Okay, well, from my understanding and my knowledge base, of course, it's in relation to end times, raptures and Jesus coming back and the end of the world type stuff. That's basically what you get from out of the book of Revelation from my knowledge base. Now, if there's anybody out there that's listening and they feel like I don't have it right, you can feel free to call in and correct me if you want to. I don't care. But the bottom line is that's what I'm getting from the book of Revelation. So, Gabriella, do you have a feedback on that from your denominational belief? How does your denominational belief teach about the book of Revelation or the end times, the end of the world, and that type of thing?
Right, I understand the question better. Well, as you know, in the Jewish faith, we do not have a Messiah. It will still be coming. So that is the Jewish religion.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I have probably a different thought. I really have to have a deep thought and have a better look at it. I think that if you do good in this world, it will get back to you. And if you do bad, it will definitely get back to you. And I think that's the main thing.
Okay. All right. Okay, I got that. Listen, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Okay, all right, thanks for coming back. Now listen, everybody, I have with me as well James Wesley, and James is calling in from Phoenix. Is that right, James?
That's correct.
Okay, all right, so James, I want to start with you with the same question that I just asked I just asked Gabriella. the question in relation to is the book of Revelation something that has already happened or is supposed to happen. Now, I know, James, that you're you're on a totally different page. So listen, whatever your answer is what your answer is, okay? So you can just tell it to me like it is on your end of the spectrum, whatever that is, okay? So you heard the question now, go for it.
Well, I believe there's a possibility that we are in the process of what the book of Revelation describes. And I feel that the second coming is not the second coming of another Jesus, another person, but the arising of Christ consciousness in all the population, in all of mankind. And Christ consciousness is present moment focus. Jesus taught present moment focus. Buddha taught present moment focus. All great spiritual teachers have taught present moment focus in one way or another. So Christ consciousness is present moment focus, is having your mind completely focused into the present moment, not thinking about the past or the future or what if about tomorrow or regrets about yesterday, but laser focused attention here now. So I believe we are in the process that is described in the book of Revelations. We're in the middle of it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that, James. So hopefully that answers my listener viewer's question that asked that question. Okay, but now I want to move on here because I have more here that I want to cover with you. Now, James, some people may say, well, you're feeling the way that you feel because you were hurt or disgruntled about religion. And I would like to know, what is your response to, a question like that? Have you been, hurt, or have you been disappointed by someone in the church? And I would like for you to take just a few minutes to explain to us, my listeners and my viewers, what do you practice under your belief and why? And also, in the midst of your explanation, please explain to me, too, what is the fourth way?
All in 2 minutes, right?
Well, you can take a little time. Go ahead. Knock yourself out.
Well, I've already begun mentioning what my practice is. Let me come back to the first part of it. I'm not disgruntled with the religion. I was never given religion. I was never raised with religion. My parents, my father was my stepfather. My mother was a divorced woman. They were both Catholics, so they were excluded from the church, and they really weren't church people anyway. My father's religion, if you would call it that, was science. So I exposed myself on purpose to religion when I was age 10, and I thought it was kind of interesting, but it went against some of the things I learned about in science. So I was skeptical, and then I didn't like, I guess you could say my bad experience was trying to be spiritually seduced into the church by the minister's wife. I had an ick reaction. So the consequence of my ick reaction was I became what you might call an agnostic, a questioner. I searched for meaning and purpose in other places. I've always felt since the age of 4 that there was a great mystery to life that nobody's really answered. Religion attempts to answer the mystery. Every system of thought attempts to answer that mystery, but it remains a mystery. And what I've discovered for myself over the years that it's not about the acquisition of more information, more knowledge, but it's rather about a change in consciousness. So that comes about, that's what the fourth way is all about in its essence, is it changing your consciousness and the clear understanding that we have levels of consciousness available to us that we most of the time we don't use. We've all had experiences, for instance, that generally were traumatic, where, if you've been in an auto accident, for instance, it changes your consciousness for a while and makes you intensely present moment aware, because it breaks the patterns of your life and you're traumatized in some kind of way. I practice being 100% here now as much as possible. That means having a quiet mind. That means I don't think the way an ordinary person does. And I teach people how to not think this way. I teach a meditation that actually stops thought. I listen deeply and speak from that place that I connect to when I listen. Some people call that place intuition. Other people call it gut instinct. I say it's inner guidance. And I feel, everybody acknowledges that. I ask these questions to everybody I deal with as a psychotherapist. I give public presentations about it. Everybody in the room says, yes, I have intuition. Yes, I don't listen to it. And when I don't listen, it's bad news. So then the question is, what is that? There is something within us that knows what's best for us that we ignore and we talk over with thought. So if we learn how to quiet thought and build a deep relationship to our intuition, one in which we are manifesting from that place, like I am right now. I am manifesting from that place. I'm listening, I'm not thinking, I'm doing and saying what I'm told to do and say. If we come from that place, we are connecting to whatever the mystery is. Whatever, every path leads to the same place, whether it's Jewish or Mohammed or Buddhist or Christian. Any kind of practice that's a true spiritual practice accesses the same connection. So I teach people how to make that connection, and I make that connection myself daily.
Okay, well, James, I'll answer this. I thought you mentioned on part 1 something about the voice of God. Did you tell me you listen, meditate, or quietly so you can hear the voice of God? Did I hear you say that, or do you hear the voice of God?
Well, what I call intuition, you can call the voice of God. And yes, I practice quieting my mind and keeping my mind quiet. My daily practice that it includes every moment that I can to have my mind be still, and I'm listening, I'm not thinking. I'm listening so deep, so deeply hard that it hurts. I'm listening for what you could call the voice of God, or my higher self, or my guardian angel, or my soul. Lots of names for the same thing. It still remains a mystery, but that's my direct experience of it. When I have learned to quiet my mind over 38 years of practice. My mind is quiet right now talking to you, and I'm doing and saying what I'm told to do and say. And I do that in therapy. I do that in my life. I make decisions intuitively. I don't think about them. I act immediately. And I encourage people to do that. That is connection to our truer self when we operate that way.
Okay, so James, do you worship, or what would you call worship?
Well, what most people call worship is paying obeisance to a deity. Buddhists don't do that. They practice presence. They practice pretty much what I talk about. I'm not a Buddhist, but the fourth way has a lot of Buddhist elements in it. Worshipping is giving your power away to something else. I believe that most people make the mistake of separating God from themselves, of seeing themselves as separate from God. My idea of God is all and everything, is all of creation, that we live in an intelligent, sentient, self-aware universe at every level, so that we are particles of God. We are God itself. We are God manifest. God is not separate from us. So why would I pray to myself?
Okay, I want to talk to. Okay, I want to talk to. James, I'm gonna leave you for a minute. Okay, do you mind if I step aside for a second? Let me go over here to Gabriella. Gabriella, I would like to ask you the same question. Do you worship at all, Gabriella? Okay, looks like I've lost Gabriella. Somehow it looks like I've lost her. Okay, so we're gonna move on. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened to Gabriella. So, okay, we're having technical difficulties once again here. Okay, and she's calling in all the way from Australia, so I guess that's to be understood since she's on the other side of the creation here. So anyway, we will. I want to ask Gabriella the question here. Let me just go ahead and ask Gabriella the question. The question for you, Gabriella, is Gabriella, the question at all. That's what I really want to know from you, Gabriella. Do you worship at all? And if you do worship, who do you worship?
Right. Do you know what? Well, I believe in very similar. James and I have some very interesting agreements, and then of course there's some disagreements. I do think there's a God. I think I am part of it, but I am not. I would not educate myself. I do like the idea of having the Sabbath candles. I think that's a beautiful thing, and it actually helps a person as well, because anything that I do believe that God is in beauty and in love and in care and all the good things. So if somebody wishes to worship and pray and they feel good about it, it is good for them to do that. And I do agree that they should do something. And we all should do something about it. And it's as simple as that.
Okay, so Gabriella, what I'm getting from you is that you do believe in worship, and you feel that if a person feels that they need to worship God or Jesus or whatever the case may be, you feel that that's what they should do. Am I correct?
Exactly right, Wyleaner. That's exactly right. One should do what is right for them is what one should do. It is right for me to do what I'm doing, and it's great for James to do what he's doing, because if he's connected to that inner self, then he's in a way connected to God as well.
Okay. Okay, so Gabriella, my next question for you is so since you do believe in you believe in some type of worship, what day would you be worshiping? Being under Judaism, what day would you worship?
Well, in Judaism, the Shabbat comes in on Friday and it's all day Saturday. I don't do that. I suppose because I have this inner belief and the inner idea of do no wrong and help others, it's a daily thing. And I do consider myself quite religious, but I do not consider myself having to have to go to a synagogue or sit there or go down on my knees and pray. It's a different type of worship.
Okay, so you don't go to a synagogue, which in most terms what people would refer to as a church or synagogue. So you don't go to a synagogue and you don't get on your knees and pray, but you do believe in worship. So I'm a little confused.
Fair enough. Well, different people have different ideas, and that's just my idea, and the way I follow it is it works for me. So if it works for me, it's fine.
Okay, well, it works for me too on the Wyleaner show. Okay. So anyway, moving forward, heaven. I want to know. I want to know, how do you guys feel about heaven? James, I'll start with you, James. Is there a heaven? And if yes, great. Why? And if no, why not?
Well, a couple of things about that. Jesus called present moment focus the kingdom of heaven, in my opinion. He uses that phrase frequently. And if you redefine the kingdom of heaven as a higher state of consciousness, that is what I believe in. There's a certain kind of heaven there. I also clearly believe that there are higher vibrational worlds than the one that we live on, that we are here to spiritually evolve, and that when we have accomplished what we can accomplish at this level, we move on to higher vibrational worlds. So, for instance, we live in the third and fourth dimension, and there are fifth and sixth and seventh, eighth and ninth dimensions, according to this idea.
Okay, I'm sitting here a little twisted up here. Vibrations, worlds. Come on, James, you got to help me out a little bit more with that, because I'm lost. I'm clueless. Okay, I have no idea what you're talking about. So you got to help me out a little bit. Go ahead.
Easy answer is yes, I believe in heaven.
Oh, interesting. Okay, after all of that, yes, you do believe in heaven.
I just gave you the details of what I thought heaven was. But yes, I believe in heaven.
Okay, so all right, well then I'm gonna go here. You gave me the details. Now the details that you gave me is not what I'm accustomed to hearing. Okay, all right. So the heaven that I'm accustomed to hearing about is somewhere out there or up there or not here in this present state that we're in. Mm-hmm. It's when you die. Of course. So I guess I'm asking you, and then the next question is going to be hell. So I need you guys to help me out here with this heaven and hell situation. So James, are you saying that that you believe that heaven is that place that people are talking about? Because it don't sound like you're saying that. It sounds like you're saying something totally different. Okay. So,
okay.
Yeah, help me out, would you?
So at the human level, at the earth level, hell is lost in thought. People think too much. They multitask thought outside the moment. And the psychology of thought is one in which the body physically reacts to every thought the mind thinks. We call that reaction emotion, and that emotion, that feeling, is the driver behind behavior. So when you're multitasking thought, you're not thinking about one thing, you're thinking about many things all at once. We live on a fear-based planet where we are sold fear everywhere we turn. So I got to figure that those thoughts that people are multitasking away from the moment are about fearful things. They worry about things. They regret things about yesterday. They worry about things about tomorrow. But the thing about yesterday and tomorrow is they don't exist. That there is only now. And when you get to that place where you can only live in the now and not live in yesterday or tomorrow, then you have acquired another state of consciousness in which things are better and easier. And that would be what Jesus called the kingdom of heaven, in which all of your attention is focused here now. In Matthew, he says, straight is the gate, narrow is the way that leads to the kingdom of heaven. And if you define the kingdom of heaven as an elevated state of consciousness, then the straight gate and the narrow way is not me following the rules. The straight gate and the narrow way is this thin slice of nothing between yesterday and tomorrow that we call now. That's constantly moving, but it's always now. It's a fact that there is no past, there is no future, there's only now. If you look at it just objectively, it's always now. It's an absolute statement. You could absolutely say it's always now. So if you acquire the ability to live totally in the now, things change in a better way.
James, I tell you what, I gotta get away from you. The rubber's meeting the road right now, and I'm gonna run over here. I mean, I'm getting ready to pick up and run over here to Gabriella. Gabriella, I need to know your feelings on heaven and hell, please. I mean, wow. Rubber meets the road on the Wyleaner show today. So, Gabriella, come on now. Talk to me about heaven and hell, would you please?
I honestly don't think there's such a thing. I don't think there's a heaven, and I don't think there's a hell. Yes, there is. It's here, and each one of us have their own heaven and their own hell. While they are alive, with a body or without a body, we have our own heaven and our own hell. But as a concept, I think it's a very dangerous concept.
Well, I tell you what, callers, I need help. I need help on the Wyleaner show right now, 702-650-5588, 702-650-5588 for local callers. Anybody calling from anywhere else out there in who knows where land, please call into the Wyleaner show right now at 1-800-366-8883. That's 1-800-366-8883. I need somebody to talk to these people and help a sister out here, because y'all know I can only say so much on the Wyleaner show. So I gotta get the callers involved. Y'all gotta help me out now. Come on here. Let's see what's going on. I'm gonna see if I can play PBX operator. If I lose any one of my guests here, just call back. Okay, just call back. Let me see what's going on here. Hello, caller. How are you? Okay, will you state your name and where you're calling from, please? Hello, Robert from Las Vegas. Robert, are you listening or watching the show right now? Okay, so you know what they're saying to me right now on this Wyleaner show, right? You know what they're doing to me right now, right? Okay, so I need you to help me out here. So get involved, would you please? Okay.
That either one of them has to answer to, or do they just have to answer to themselves?
Okay, so who are we going to start with, Robert? You want to go ladies first?
Yeah, we do ladies first.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, Gabriella, did you hear the question?
Yes, I did. Yes. And
Okay,
Robert?
so what did you answer?
Okay. So, Robert, for you, my answer is I do have to answer to myself, and I am damn sure that that wasn't very good. There is a higher authority. There has to be. There always has to be, but the very first time is one answers to yourself. And one needs to know what's right and wrong is, and that's the main question. And the right and wrong is, in all things, how much right do you do one lifetime, and how much wrong does one do in one lifetime? And that is what you need to answer up to eventually.
Okay. Did you hear that, Robert?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so you want me to go ahead and go to James and let him, and then I'm gonna come back to you, Robert. Don't leave me, man. Don't leave me, because this is way too much right here for me to handle on the Wyleaner show. Hold on, let's see what James has to say. James, what do you have to say to Robert right now?
Well, Gabrielle and I fairly much agree. I certainly have to answer to myself. I have to answer to my own sense of righteousness and conscience. And I also have to answer to the laws of the universe. If the universe is alive and sentient at every level, and you violate the laws of the universe, you'll get pushed back. Some people call that karma, I guess. You know, in the news this past week was a man who viciously murdered a glorious lion in Africa, and that hit the social media and crashed his site and destroyed his dental practice, and is causing him to be chased by the law. Can you still have me?
Okay, we're having trouble with the Australian call right now, and I'm sorry, everybody, but you know it's technical difficulty with the Australian calls. So it looks like we kind of we lost what was going on there. So we're gonna have to wait for them to call back in, and then we'll get that going here. I guess I think we pretty much lost everybody.
Sorry about
so
that.
I'm alone right now, but we're gonna see who I can grab first here, and let's see who I have. Looks like I have. Is this Gabriella or who is this?
Yes, it's me, Wyleaner. It's me again, back again.
Okay, so Gabriella, can you just hold on, please, because I was in the middle of dealing with James and Robert. Okay, so
hi, boss, James.
Okay, so let's see, who do we have now? Oh, okay. So now I'm going to see if I can deal with who do I have on the line right now? Is this Robert? Or James?
You got me on. Well, this is James.
Okay, James, go ahead and finish what you were saying, please.
Well, the higher authority is just the laws of the universe. You know, we tend to. This is all the idea that man is made in the image of God, but really, I think God is made. A man is made God in the image of man, he's anthropomorphized God, and so we consider him to be a person somewhere who has a personality like us and does right and wrong and left and right and that kind of thing. But actually, I feel that that's just not true. It's just that we live in an intelligent, self-aware universe, like I said before, and we have to abide by the laws of the universe, which are pretty easy. Just do unto others as you'd have done unto yourself. All religions teach the same thing, pretty much. That's why I respect all paths to God. I don't claim mine to be the only one. I don't think there is the only one. There's as many paths to God as there are people.
Okay. Thanks for that, James. So let's see what Robert, did you comprehend what James had to say?
And this is Robert speaking.
Yes, Robert. I'm talking to you.
I didn't quite catch all of what James was saying. We had difficulty there, but I would ask James and Gabriella also, but James first. And if they both read the Bible, then they must not believe in the statement that every knee should bow and answer before the Lord.
Okay, well, it does appear that they both seem to be somewhat in the Bible, although Gabriella stated in part 1 that she doesn't really focus on the Bible that much. So, but I've heard James quoting quite a few Bible scriptures and that type of thing. So, so Robert, let's see if we can see what James has to say about every knee shall bow. Hold on there. Okay, so James, did you hear what Robert said?
Yes, I did. He's talking about respect. How can I not respect a higher authority?
Okay,
of course.
What authority would that be?
Higher authority.
Well, what authority would that be, James?
Well, I could call it the universe, I suppose, or the absolute, all that is. It doesn't matter what name you use; it really doesn't.
Oh.
There are many names for God.
Oh. Okay.
And I'm not going to argue with anybody over whose name is right. I think that's where humanity has gone astray and a huge mistake, and people kill each other over whose religious teaching is correct. It's insane.
So you think people should do what, James?
Love each other unconditionally, just like God loves us unconditionally.
Okay, well let me go back to my caller here, Robert, and let's see what Robert has to say. Robert, are you still with us?
Yes, and this will be the last comment that I'll make, is that yes, God is love, but if God is love, he expects something in return for that love. And the only way I can express it is obedience to his will for that love. And all of the things that James says seems to go in circles around that, just to lift up his way of thinking. And I'm going to say goodbye now and let you finish. Bye.
Could I make a comment on that?
Okay, bye, Robert. Okay, Robert said he bailing out on me now. He said he's had enough. Okay, and I tell you what, so have I. We're gonna take a break because I gotta go buy some sponges, y'all, to soak up some of this sweat. Okay, we'll be right back.
Did you realize that right now, one of every 3 drivers on the road is cruising around in a state of skepticism? Why? Because they're full of questions about how much value their car insurance companies are actually bringing to the party. And the way these drivers are getting answers is by shopping and comparing. If you're one of them, State Farm agent Mike Whitford in Las Vegas can help you get to a better state. Now's the time to call State Farm agent Mike Whitford in Las Vegas at 702-463-2400. That's 702-463-2400 and get to a better state with State Farm.
Hi, this is Wyleaner, the Las Vegas Queen of Gospel. First of all, I really do appreciate you listening and viewing my show every week. I would greatly appreciate your financial assistance as well to keep my show on the air. Please just make some type of contribution. $5, $10, $20, $50, $100 or more. Whatever you desire. Please log on to www.WyleanerTVShow.com and click the pay button. Or please send your check or money order to Wyleaner, that's spelled WYLEANER, to 420 North Nellis Boulevard, Suite A3, Las Vegas, Nevada 89110. Also, if you would like to be a guest on the show, please call 702-242-2100 or email me at WyleanerTVShow@AOL.com. That's all for now. And thanks again for your continued support. Blessings to you too. And this is where the rubber meets the road.
Okay, listen, everybody. We have another call on the line, and so we're going to take this caller, and we're about to wrap it up for today. Caller, hello, caller, how are you? Hello, caller, how are you?
I'm fine. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. State your name and where you're calling from.
Okay, Natalie, and I'm calling from Las Vegas.
Hello, Natalie. Thank you for tuning in to the Wyleaner Show.
Yes, well, you have an extremely interesting show today.
Okay.
There usually isn't, but today is extraordinarily interesting.
Okay, so Natalie, spit out what you want to say and who you want to say it to.
Okay, I'd like to address both, but mainly the gentleman. My question is similar to the last caller. I'm wondering, what are his convictions on accountability? Because I know he said there's all these paths to God, and you can call God anything you want. But someone, a higher intelligence, set everything into motion. Laws of gravity, scientific laws, energetic laws. I mean, even the laws that we have inside ourselves. You know the difference between right and wrong. So I'm wondering, what are his principles or convictions on not having that singular entity like God himself, Jehovah God, that I believe in, to not have that accountability? What do you do with murderers who decide they want to molest or serial kill? If they do this out of their own consciousness, are they still subject to the laws of the land? And if so, why? Why? So, there has to be an accountability, a person of accountability. And in this case, I believe it is the God of the Bible. So I'm wondering, what do you do with that if everybody is you're just subject to your own consciousness, what you think is right or wrong? And where did you get that from? How do you know what's right or wrong?
Whoa! Natalie, you off the chain, girl! Listen. Okay, listen, Natalie, I'm going to ask you to take your answer off the air, off the phone, because we need to we're about to run out of time. So I'm going to let James address that, and we're going to thank you so much, Natalie, for tuning in, okay? All right. James, go for it.
Well, both Natalie and Robert overlooked the idea that God's love is unconditional. Jesus said on the cross, "Forgive them, Father, they know not what they do." God gave us free will and choice. He didn't tell us that he would punish us if we didn't obey his commandments. Things are better if you align yourself with the laws of the universe, that's for sure. And there is accountability at every level by the reaction the universe has to your actions. So, anybody who commits murder is going to suffer internally from their actions. I don't care how callous they are. And they will also suffer at the hands of society. God's love is unconditional. We have free will and choice. I have the free will and choice not to believe in God and not be punished for not believing in God. It's as simple as that. That's what we overlook. That's what we clearly don't understand and have misunderstood for thousands of years.
Okay, James. Okay, listen. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and being a part of the show today. Listen, you guys, you have 1 minute for your closing thought. And I'm going to start with Gabriella. I'm going to cut you off, Gabriella, when your time is up, okay? 1 minute you have for your closing thought. Go for it.
Well, I just want to say thank you very much, Wyleaner, for having me on the show. And if anybody wants to buy my book and learn more about my weird and wonderful thought, they're more than welcome to do that. Otherwise, I'm very interested also in what James had to say as well. It's a great show. Loved it. Really, really thought it was wonderful.
Okay. All right, thank you, Gabriella. And their books, just by the way, their books, you can actually log on to WyleanerTVShow.com and click on their books, and it'll take you directly to their sites. James, 1 minute.
Well, the one thing I would encourage everybody to do is to learn to listen and quiet their mind and stop thinking. 90% of human thought is harmful and a waste of time. If you learn to quiet your mind and listen, you will find God's voice within. The kingdom of heaven is within, said Jesus. And I totally agree with that. I go within as much as possible. I practice every day, moment to moment, as much as I can. And yes, I have written a book called My Journey to Now. It's on the website, www.myjourneytonow.com. It contains my story of going away to live in a retreat for 5 years. And it also contains all my treatment tools. It contains a generic spiritual practice, which if you pick it up, you can find your own way to make your personal connection to whatever you want to call a higher power.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to the two of you for being a part of the show for the past 2 weeks. And listen, everybody, if you don't remember their sites, just go to my site. The links page has all the books, and you can go there and find their book. Okay. Thank you too for being on the show. Listen, next week. Everybody, you're welcome. Next week, I have 2 guests, and the discussion is going to be off the chain. Does the church leaders really and truly follow, obey, and understand the Bible, or do they just do what they feel comfortable doing? And WWJD, what would Jesus do? Y'all know me. You know what I always tell you. Study for yourself. Study for yourself. There's so many different teachings and beliefs out there. You will be confused. You need to study for yourself. Get in those books. Get in the Bible. Get in the encyclopedia. Get on the internet. You got the internet now. Do what you got to do, but study for yourself. I'll tell you what. I'm going to come back next week. I'm Wyleaner, the Las Vegas queen of gospel, and y'all know what show this is. This is the show. This is the Wyleaner show, and this is where the rubber meets the road. We'll see you next week.